Good morning, and welcome to Redeemer Lutheran Church in Columbia, South Carolina, where we're part of the ELCA. I'm Pastor Gary Lodeholt. One of the great gifts of being the church in these days is that we have almost 2,000 years of a heritage of faith to learn about and to inspire us. Great women and men of faith have lived and many times died, providing us faithful examples of devotion and fidelity to God. In fact, you may have never noticed, but the very first thing in our hymnal after the table of contents is the calendar for the church year. And part of that is a listing of lesser festivals and commemorations that honor some of those specific individuals who leave us a powerful legacy of faith. We are invited to learn about them and to let their lives and faith inspire our own. If we have room in our weekly bulletin, we print these names and a little about each one. One interesting thing is that these feast days and commemorations are celebrated on their death days, not their birthdays. It is considered that their death day is their birthday in heaven, and so that is the day we mark. This week we are continuing our year-long series of taking 1 week each month to highlight the stories of the lives of those people we commemorate this way. Today we remember Lawrence, who was a deacon and martyr in the year 258. You've probably never heard of Lawrence, but he was likely born in Spain and traveled to Rome as a young man, where the bishop ordained him as a deacon. In fact, he was made the chief of 7 deacons in Rome, responsible for the distribution of the charities of the church and the care of its properties. In 257, the Roman Emperor Valerian began a vigorous persecution of the church, aimed primarily at the clergy and the laity who were upper class. All the properties of the church were confiscated, and the people were forbidden to assemble for worship. On August 4th of 258, the bishop and the 7 deacons were in a cemetery where they were conducting a worship, and all of them, except Lawrence, were immediately executed and buried in that very cemetery. The reason they didn't immediately execute Lawrence was because he knew the location of the church's treasure, so he was tortured and then executed on August 10th. There are some interesting legendary traditions that have come down to us regarding Lawrence, although most of them are unreliable. One says that the behavior of Lawrence in jail was such to have led to the conversion of the jailer and all his family. When the governor demanded all the church treasures, Lawrence is said to have gathered together a great number of the blind, the lame, the maimed, the lepers, orphans, and widows of Rome, and brought them to the governor's palace, saying, "Here is the treasure of the church." Another tradition says that he was condemned to die slowly and painfully by roasting on an iron grill. Even there, his courage and humor were apparent, as he was reported to have said at one point, "I am done on this side, turn me over." The most likely truth was that he was beheaded, and the torture and execution of a Roman citizen made a deep impression on the early church, which was stunned by such hostility. His martyrdom was one of the first to be commemorated by the church. Lawrence gives us a powerful example of faithfulness to God and a strong witness about the true treasures of the church. His life invites us to treasure all those around us, and especially the least among us. Thanks for watching, and remember to let this day belong to God.